Today we are going to discuss very interesting case because in this case there are a lot of findings. This is the case that is of gallbladder stone. The patient also has the fiber fatty or cirrhotic liver. There is an element of the portal hypertension. There is splenomegaly. The gallbladder wall is also thickened, and these pictures also show you the anatomy of the liver, gallbladder, CVD and the portal vein. Now let's start. This live image shows the multiple gallstones. I have focused a single gallstone that is angled and it measures about 12 millimeter. You can see. So the gallbladder contains multiple gallstones and it is distended. Now I like to focus on the neck area. This neck area is very important because we like to see the portal vein and the CVD here. You can see I am pointing this area. Now I like to fix it. There are two tube-like structure. One is down and one is above that. The area that I am going to measure is the portal vein, and it is about 13-14 millimeter. The upper limit is 14 or above, so you can say it's normal. Now the other structure that is present above it is the CVD, that's about 8 millimeter. Normal is 6 to 7, and if it crosses 10 millimeter, then it is significant because this shows the obstruction or there is some stone in the distal CVD. So portal vein upper limit is about 14 or 15. Above that it shows the portal hypertension. You can see these measurements very clearly. I would like to measure the gallbladder wall thickness. It should not more than 3 millimeter, but in this case you can see it's about 3.8. It's above the normal limit. Most of the time it is present in the chronic inflammatory condition like chronic cholecystitis. Now I am going to measure the liver span. It's about 190 millimeter and it's above the normal range, and the texture is fibrofatty. Now we will measure the gallbladder. In the longitudinal direction, it should not be more than 7 to 8. It's about 8 centimeter in the longitudinal direction. It should not be more than 3 centimeter in the anteroposterior direction. It's about 4, that is above the normal. So in the anteroposterior direction it is increased. Now I would like to comment on the mucosal fold. In this section of this video you can see a structure, slit-like structure that is present in the neck region. This cursor shows this structure, that is the mucosal fold. It's never complete. Most of the time it is incomplete, never become complete or to form the septa. It could be present in one or more area of the gallbladder. These mucosal folds are very common. No, this is very interesting and important case. Since the liver is fibrofatty and it shows the cirrhotic picture, we like to measure the caudate lobe. That is very crucial and important in these cases. You can see the area that is between the inferior vena cava and the ligamentum venosum. It measures about 4 centimeter. It should not cross the 2 centimeter. When it increases above the 2 centimeter, it becomes important. That shows that caudate lobe has increased in size, and it is one of the sign of the cirrhotic liver. Focus on this area. You have to place your probe in the epigastric region in the longitudinal direction, and you have to manipulate your probe to localize the caudate lobe of the liver to measure the caudate lobe. Now, in the epigastrium, there is also an important structure, that is the pancreas. This bright shadow shows the pancreas. The head is very important, and I have focused on the head to rule out any enlargement of the head that is very common in the CA pancreas. The dark echogenic shadow within this pancreas is the portal vein formation. It usually forms from the splenic vein and the superior mesenteric vein, and that form the portal vein that passes through the pancreas. So, this bright echogenic shadow is the pancreas. In the epigastrium, there is also another important structure that you can see on the ultrasound, just left of the right lobe of the liver. It is the stomach. You can see this echogenic shadow that is just nearer to the right lobe of the liver. It is stomach. If the patient has eaten something, you can also see the content of the food moving within the stomach. You can also see the muscularis mucosa of the stomach that usually enlarge in some condition. To measure the porta vein, you have to focus the porta hepatis, and you have to measure the portal vein at the junction where it enters the liver. This is the area that I have fixed, is the junction where the portal vein enter the livers. Here you can measure it. It's about 14 to 15 millimeter. That is significant, and it shows the portal hypertension and some cirrhotic element. There is another scale that shows the portal hypertension and the cirrhosis of the liver, is the blood flow through the portal vein, and we have to measure the velocity of the blood flow. Look at the scale. The velocity is about 7 to 10, and normal velocity is about 15 to 20. This low velocity shows the resistance to the blood flow in the liver, that is due to the cirrhosis of the liver, and it's significant. Normal blood flow through the liver is the hepatopetal. When it's reversed, the velocity decreases and the measurement come below the 10. It should not be less than 15. 15 show good velocity. The blood flow is smooth and more. But when there is resistance to the blood flow, the velocity decreases and it shows the cirrhotic or fibrotic element. Another condition, that is the thrombosis of the portal vein. This phenomena also exists. There is resistance to the blood flow through the liver bed, and the velocity of the blood flow decreases. These are the important gadgets that usually measure the gravity and the severity of the disease. Look at this. I have again focused the portal vein and try to measure the blood flow within it. It's about 7.5 to 8. That shows the decreased blood flow within the portal vein. Now we will measure the spleen to rule out the splenomegaly. We can measure the splenic length. Look at this. It's above 12. When it is above 12, we usually take it as splenomegaly. It should not cross 12. It's about 13 and a half. We can also measure the splenic index. And look at this. We measure the length and another transverse measurement, and we will calculate the splenic index. It should not be more than 45. If it is more than 45, this shows the splenomegaly. and increase in the mass of the spleen. This also shows the element of the portal hypertension. In the advanced cases, there is splenomegaly. And we would like to measure the fluid within the abdomen. We have seen that there is no fluid in the hepatorenal angles, and we also see the fluid in the pelvis. For this, the bladder should be filled. There is no fluid within the pelvis in this case, so there is no element of the ascites. Thanks for watching the video. Please like the video and share it on the social media, and please subscribe the channel. Thanks.